rise for a pledge to the flag. Okay. If the secretary perform roll call attendance, please.
Present.
Here.
Here.
Here. Okay. All the board members should have received the minutes from the October 21st meeting. There's no discussion regarding the minutes. I'll entertain a motion to accept them as
I'll make
read.
a motion to accept. I'll second it.
Okay, motion made second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. Okay. Our first item on the agenda this evening is a public hearing for site plan and special use permit for Randolph School, Sugar Shack, and lean-tos. This time I'd like to entertain a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved. Second.
Okay, motion made seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. All right. Mr. Kaplan, why don't you come on up and give us a brief overview of what you're looking to do, or what you've proposed to us already, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. I'm glad to be moving along in this process a bit, and you may recall we had installed 7 what we call lean-tos, structures during the COVID pandemic that allowed us to transition and remain open for the duration of that period. And so those are in place. And we are seeking to amend the site survey to include those. That has required us to make some changes to their current locations to become compliant. In addition, we are proposing that in this site survey, we are adding an additional structure that we're calling a Sugar Shack, which is a 16 by 24 wooden structure that will be used for educational and community purposes. Does that sum it up a little bit?
That, I guess, yes, it does.
Okay.
All right. Okay. From the last meeting, just ask any of the board members have any questions for the applicant?
Nope.
No? Okay. All right. So at this time, we're going to open up the floor for public comment.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So is there anyone from the public that wishes to speak regarding this application?
Good evening, members of the Planning Board. I'm Franca Petrillo, Houstonville, and I would like to read a letter on behalf of the Houstonville and Wheeler Hill Community Association. The Houstonville and Wheeler Hill Community Association supports Randolph School's site plan for education, lean-tos, and the Sugar Shack. The Randolph School's plan, while clearly enhancing the curriculum opportunities for their students, is also an investment and an important community asset which aligns with the objectives of the Hudson River Valley Greenway. The Greenway, which the town proudly declares to be a member of on signs throughout the town, has the objective of preservation, enhancement, and development of scenic, natural, historic, cultural, and recreational resources of the Hudson River Valley, while encouraging compatible economic development. Our organization is working to promote the application of these objectives in the town of Wappinger, and most specifically, the Houstonville Hamlet and Wheeler Hill Historic District. And we ask you to please approve the Randolph Schools site plan. Sincerely, the Executive Board of the Houstonville and Wheeler Hill Community Association. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Is there anyone else from the public that wishes to speak in regard to this application?
Good evening, Ernie Martin. I'm here with my wife Paula and daughter Shannon. We are the neighbors to the Randolph School, and we have we've been neighbors, at least as long as we've been there, and we've been there 49 years, and I must say, it's been a very good relationship. And over the years, they have taken their classes from their property to our property, and they've done little tours in the woods and the stream and educational type classes and that. And they've also have been very nice to us. During the time when the Route 9D bridge was closed and it was made a little difficult for us to get into our property, they allowed us to go over their property to make it a little easier for us. We did some major renovation, some back in the late 80s. Again, they allowed their property so they could make deliveries. And even our own little episode where our bridge was, we had a problem with, we were allowed to go through their property. So it's been, what I'm trying to say, it's been a very good relationship. Just a few things I just like to bring out. I think part of this site plan is to move some of the sheds. I don't know, normally I think it's customary to do an as-built after they're done. I don't know if this is something that, I think that maybe this is something that certainly the building department should know, that the sheds that are moved, that they do in fact comply, because some of them are being moved because either they're on top of a septic system or they're too close to the line. So that was one thing I would mention. Also, and I've talked, and by the way, this is no surprise to Josh. We've been talking for probably a better part of 6 months on and off. So what I'm about to say is no surprise to Josh or anything. But over the years, the campus, I think at times they accumulate materials, stuff, maybe stuff they don't use anymore, and it's kind of been just stored on the property. Typically, when you have foliage on the tree, you don't see it. But when you lose the leaves, some of it looks a little unsightly. I think it would be not only in our interest, but I think in the interest of the school and future students and parents, that maybe they tend to kind of just keep it a little more organized. And again, I spoke to Josh on that. He's planning on working on that. I have no doubt that he will do that, but I'm just making it part of the record, okay? And lastly, it's my understanding this is a structure, so I assume they're going to have to get a building permit. I assume it has to comply with the building and fire code.
Yes.
Because it's not only going to be used not only for the normal sugar season, but it's my understanding they're going to be using it year-round for experiments, science, whatever, for a learning tool.
Yep.
So other than that, we support it, and we support their program, and we wish them the best.
Okay. All right, thank you. Okay. Is there anyone else that wishes to speak regarding this application? Okay. Seeing none, then entertain a motion to close the public hearing at this time.
So moved.
Okay. Do we hear a second?
Second.
Okay, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Okay. So, Josh, I guess you've received the resolution. Just in regard to, can you just show the board where we're talking about where the storage issue is taking place?
Yes, on the side, along the...
Okay, it's closer to the 9D,
This whole section, I would say.
that in there.
And they would also say.
Okay.
Is that adjacent to Mr. Martin's property?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, if you look at like the left side of the property, look down, you can,
Yeah. Okay. What's your, obviously, I guess you guys have talked about the issue. Could you just kind of explain to the board what your plan is to do something with that?
Well, you'll certainly, I'm sure, be hearing some about it.
Sorry, just if you could grab the microphone so that,
microphone.
yeah. Just so everybody on TV can hear you as well.
We share the same goals as the Martins, right? And we have a vision for the aesthetic and the way that we maintain the property that isn't that different. Where we are limited sometimes is in the resources, and so it takes us some time to get to those things. Our plan is much like it always has been, and even, they could attest that even in the recent weeks, we've made a lot of change on that side of the property, and we plan to continue doing so. But a lot of it is the removal of things that are plastic and not necessarily functional or for the purposes that have can become an eyesore, and especially for a perspective that we're not used to seeing the school from, right? We don't see the school from the Martins' kitchen window. And that's something that we have taken to heart and are, very interested in ameliorating. One important thing is that the investment in these spaces, including in the Sugar Shack, is part of the solution. It's an opportunity for us to diversify our revenue, which will free up the funds to devote more towards the maintenance of that side and enacting some of our vision too. So it's all, as we like to say, it's all linked and it's all important. Part of our process too, some time ago, was the acquisition of a storage container during the pandemic. You might recall the price of lumber was extremely high, and we were able to get our hands on one in order to put away a lot of those things. We recognized that the unsightly nature of that particular thing wasn't necessarily helpful and removed it. So our aim remains the same, that we want to continue to beautify that space and be thinking strategically, but also taking the feedback of folks in the town and our neighbors to make sure that we're doing that. Again, you're going to hear, I'm sure, or I hope, more about some of our plans as we think about the ways in which our site might be redesigned in the future, which would include the aesthetic attention to that side of the property. In the meantime, we can absolutely clean it up.
Okay.
Is there more than just the brush piles and stuff there?
Is there solid things, like you said, plastic? Is it old toys or?
No, we had, the dumpster was pulled away last week, and the junk man came and took all the rest.
Oh, they did? Okay.
Yeah.
So what's
yes,
left?
Sir. What's a cleanup? Yeah.
Brushes, things like that?
Well, I remember there was big brush piles.
Kind of like
logs.
slides, like plastic slides from play structures that we've repurposed that we don't really need, and that would definitely make for a different aesthetic, right? That everything on that playground should be natural. Am I missing anything?
Okay. Barbara, has anybody been out to the site recently that you
Not
remember?
very recently, but I'll.
You're welcome
talk to
anytime.
Joshua
I'd love to have
Klein
you.
About some ways that we can maybe help them get rid of some of this
Okay.
from the site.
Yeah, it's just, I'm just trying to think here with the,
We put a condition in the resolution just to clean up the.
yeah,
parking
just to
lot.
make sure it's, cleaned up. I don't, we might have to do that. And just see, Mr. Martin, I see you standing up. Do you want to address the board for a second?
What was just recently said, Barbara, if you wanted to go out there or any of the planning board, I'm not sure whether you've gone to the site or not, but I think that would be a good thing.
I can meet Josh out at the site, and remember, we have a recycle center, so a
Right
lot
around the
of the
corner.
stuff, in fact, probably all of it can go there.
Most is gone at this point, but we'd love to have you
Okay.
anytime.
All right. All right. So, we do have that resolution approval, but I don't know what the board's feeling, if we just want to add a, prior to getting final signature, do we, want to just make sure that the site is cleaned up? And we'll leave that up to the building department or Mr. Birdie's office to take care of, just to confirm?
Yeah.
And we can go
Yes.
that route? That might be the simplest solution here at this point.
Make it a condition of the CO.
To make it a condition, yeah, but we probably should add it to the resolution itself. Does anybody have a copy of that? Because I didn't bring it with me. I read it at home, I just, all right, I got everything. And you've gotten a copy of the resolution?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Schedule. Okay.
We could put something in after paragraph
I'm
7.
just looking through, it would, I must have read it real quick, because it looks like it would be addition, it would be item D then would have to be added.
Well, making it a condition, he can't get this signed until that's met. And if
You
you're
could
going to
put it
make
in
it a
the
condition
condition
of
after
the
7.
CO.
As
Right.
what?
It should be in another part.
In the conditions after 7, which says no building permit or
Right.
certificate of occupancy,
Okay,
you could put something there like the applicant shall demonstrate adequate plans for the maintenance and property,
Okay.
structure, or, I'm sorry,
No, you're right.
refuse and debris, et cetera.
prior to
To
the
the
issuance.
satisfaction of the,
Yeah,
That's the right spot, so that the resolution
so you want to do it prior to
snaps.
the building permit then
Right.
being issued?
Because this way he'll have a little time, we're going into the winter,
Okay,
to clean it up before a CO is ready.
okay.
I just worry that the challenges have been misrepresented, and I encourage you to come even tomorrow morning to come and see that some of these
I know.
concerns aren't there.
Well, let's put it this way, if you're looking for, to get this signed off tonight by the board,
Yeah,
I think the board would feel comfortable just putting this condition in, and then that way there's no question.
great.
We approve the resolution tonight with that additional condition, then it's up to the building department, the code enforcement office to make sure that it's been cleaned up.
And respectfully.
Satisfactorily, right,
To me.
and then you can get, if they assign it to either the building permit or the CO, either whichever they decide to do, at least it will be taken care of. It gives you incentive to get it, taken care of so that they issue a building permit or a CO, depending on how they choose to deal with it. So I believe that's a fair compromise,
I understand.
based upon the comments we received tonight. Otherwise, we're looking to put it off to another meeting.
I appreciate not
Okay.
further delay.
All
Thank
right.
you.
All right, so with that, I guess we have that one amendment, which you're going to agree to, correct?
Yes, sir, and comply with, yeah.
Okay, so with that, unless anybody else has any other questions on the board? Or any other concerns? Okay, so if nobody does, then entertain a motion to approve the resolution as amended.
I'll make that motion.
For this application. Okay, so we have a motion, we have a second by,
I'll move it. I'll second.
you'll second? Okay, all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? See none, motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay? All right, so you're all set, and takes care of that one. So with that, our next item on the agenda is another public hearing for Jackson Photovoltaic Ground-Mounted Solar. Is there anybody here for that application tonight? Okay.
There is now.
So it will still open, so I'll entertain a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Okay, motion made, seconded. All in favor? Aye. Okay, so with this, apparently, I guess this application, we've heard this evening that the solar company is no longer wishing to move forward with this application, as conveyed from the secretary. See, there's nobody here from the public tonight that wishes to speak regarding this application.
Maybe that lady.
Hmm?
Does that woman want to speak?
I don't know, are you here to speak regarding that application? No? Okay. So with that,
Make a motion.
well, I guess legally, I mean, do we have to, we really can't adjourn it because I guess they're
No,
calling
you
the
have to
application,
close it, I
so.
think.
Close it.
So
Yeah.
we'll just we'll close the application, or entertain a motion to close the public hearing at this
So moved.
point. Okay,
Second.
seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
And I guess if the applicant wishes to proceed forward, they would need to reapply. So at this point, we're to the end of the agenda. And with that, if anybody has anything to discuss this evening, if not, then entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll move that.
Okay. All right. Motion's made and seconded. All in favor? Aye. Aye.